and it will then send it off for you all on autopilot. You don't have to worry about checking anything. It'll actually do it for you once you get your system set up. So now you've got AI finding the people, researching them across the internet within seconds, generating all your email headings, all the content for your email and how to contact with them, and also helps you to understand who else in their network might be a person of influence you want to actually connect with.
This is the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners looking for cool online tools, apps and strategies to make business easy online. My name is Nick Cree and I'm your host. Each episode features a guest expert demystifying the online universe, sharing inspirational ideas and providing tested real-world strategies to help you get the most of what's available online to grow your business today. Don't be a slave to your business, get your business working for you. Subscribe now and get some great content and ideas for you and your business today. All right, well, let's step into tonight's session about setting your lead generation on fire. We've got Kelvin Holiday here. And he is an absolute whiz and a legend with some of these AI tools. In fact, his organization, his business is all around helping businesses to move quicker, faster, and really adopt some of the AI tools. Tonight's one is a lead generation tool. For those that don't know, Kel, he's an Aussie, but he doesn't live over here anymore. He's in Thailand. He retired once, I think for about, 2 days? And then he got back into business again. He's created multiple 7-figure businesses. He's worked across 3 countries. He travels the world while he works as well too, which is part of the nomadic lifestyle, which is what you can do when you've got a business like this and some of the tools. And what he's sharing today is really how to use AI to generate leads, connect with clients, and to do it fast and effectively. So let's put your hands together. Welcome to the stage, Kelvin Holiday.
Thank you very much, Nick. And mate, it wasn't as short as 2 days, mate. I retired after and when I retired, I started back after 2 weeks. So just to want to clarify that, mate, I couldn't keep myself still for long enough, so had to get back into it. So thank you very much. Just to give a little bit more context to everybody here of what I'm about. I know quite a few people in here already. So I've been in the tech sort of space since technology pretty much started. I was one of the first Microsoft technicians back in the early 80s, 1980s that is, and when technology really come out, the first lot of computers, Amstrad computer, then IBM come into Australia. I was literally on the first waiting list for getting all those sort of computers. So been around computing for a long time, and even prior to that, into punch cards. So got a couple of older citizens here at the moment, so some of you might remember the old words of punch cards, but that's where I come from. And throughout that process, I actually, while I played and I loved computing and technology, I become a builder, and that was my career pathway. And as Nick said, created a building company at the age of 24, a $45 million building company at the age of 24, a couple of hundred employees. And the only way I could do it in some respects was to start adopting some of the technologies that were around. And so I love it. And AI is obviously the on the tip of everybody's tongue. We've seen some great tools and everything that Nick has just brought to us there, uses AI to its advantage. And I guess tonight I just wanted to bring to you something that's only just launched. It's very fresh into the marketplace. It's been built not just by myself, so I can't take the credit for it by myself. There's been a massive team behind it, partnerships, et cetera, across the globe. And some of the best minds in AI I've been able to associate with. Some of you may know, if you're in the high-level space, a guy by the name of Fur Patel. He was the guy that helped generate and build the high-level AI system. So he's been one of my mentors and everything through this process. Kevin and Josh from Leverage AI, who is literally the builders of some of the most powerful AI systems around the world. So there's also a couple of Aussies, Walt and Johan. So these guys have helped build what I'm about to demonstrate and everything tonight. So a lot of hands, a lot of people, but all absolutely the top of their game. So I guess really where I wanted to start is to know the room a little bit, so if you just want to throw in there, yes, if you're actually doing any sort of form of advertising, like whether it be Google ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, just type in a yes to give me an idea of how many people are actually doing paid ads for a start, number one. All right, so we've got yeps, a couple are coming in there. All right, so just if you're doing it, no, if you want to put in a no, that's okay as well, just so we can get a couple of extras in there. So I'm not saying tonight that this is the tool that will replace and you can throw away your ads. I just want to make that really clear. But what it can do is absolutely significantly increase the impact of your ads. All right, so if you still want to do out there and use a strategy around paid ads, cool, but think about how you're doing it. The other one is, I don't know about you, how many people here get emails that feel so generic and it just drives you balmy? In other words, hi, I'm from XYZ company. Are you interested in lead generation? Would love to talk to you. How many of us get those? All the time. Drives us flipping insane. Yeah? Okay. So what I wanted to start off with tonight, before showing you the AI tool, is to help you get a mindset about how to use things like ChatGPT to write your emails, and also make sure that your emails are getting cut through, and also using things like SMS and all the other different mediums of communication effectively. So one of the first tips I would actually say to you is this: when you're doing any sort of message and you're sending out what some people would call cold messages, stop doing the long form stuff. Stop writing a friggin' marathon ebook in an email trying to sell people. The easiest way and the most effective way, and this is a proven strategy I've been doing for years, is something very simple. Hi, how you going? This is what I'm about. Are you interested? Full stop. If you're not going to do anything else other than do that, now you can gauge your interest. If you're going to do a cold email, that's at least a start. The tool I'm about to show you will take you to the next level. All right? So stop sending long form emails, and particularly, big one for you, stop sending emails that you've generated from ChatGPT that's got all the nice little icons and it looks pretty, and just do a cut and paste and send that in, because everybody now knows that you're actually written it from ChatGPT, and therefore they're not going to take you seriously. So keep it short. Don't just do a copy and paste. Don't even just tweak it around and keep all those little icons in there. Make sure it comes from you, and the more research you can do on the person and personalize it, the better it's going to be. I would much prefer to send out 100 emails and be personalized than tens of thousands of emails and drive everybody nuts. So smaller numbers, more personalized. And I think it comes back, Nick, you were saying earlier on about that friend of yours, they started at the bottom of the phone book and worked your way. That's doing something different. All right. And if you start in a different place, you're going to get a better result. And if you start to talk to people relationally rather than trying to spam them, basically, you are going to get a cut through. And so some of the strategies, just using that simple tip, can increase your cut through in your messages. And we've done some test cases on this. And one of the case studies I'm going to show you tonight, all right, will show you how an 11,000 people database got zero hits, but the strategy I just talked to you actually got a 75% conversion rate just by using the two different things. Okay. So cool. So if there's anything particular about tonight as we go along that, I'm going too fast or whatever it might be, I've also got a very croaky voice. I've had bronchitis the last couple of weeks. So if I have to turn off and cough like that, take the opportunity to ask any questions you want in the chat, and I'm more than happy to go there. And I don't want to do a death by PowerPoint either. I want to try and keep this as relational, and answer many questions. So if you've got any questions as well, you can always stick your hand up. So don't be afraid to do that or shout out to us. So let me just jump in for a second into some of the stats, and I want to give you a really clear understanding of when we start to think about doing outreach. All right, what are the real costs? Now, we had a couple of people here said that they're doing ads. Now, I want to give you some real, these are real statistics, not based on any hocus pocus. When you start to think about doing ad spend, all right, these are average costs. This was a system that I actually used, or a set of statistics I generated over the last couple of months. So these are very, very raw, real statistics. So when you're doing an ad spend, for those people who are doing it, you'll know these figures. You're paying in the vicinity somewhere between $1.68 and $5 to $6 for every time somebody clicks on your ad. So let's just think about it. They've just clicked on your ad, and now you've got to either retarget to them or they're lost. You don't get any of their details. They've just clicked on your ad. They've spent your money just by clicking on it and saying, oh, I'm interested in how much of this. Now, as you click through an ad, you get, a certain number of people will go to the next stage. They'll actually put their name and details in because they want more. So if you've got a good ad, at best, you might get about a 20% next step. 20% of the people that have just taken a couple of bucks off you will actually take some form of action. And then about, on average, somewhere around about 7 to 10% will actually convert, all right? So the conversion rate is very, very low. So it will end up with a cost, depending on what sort of medium you're doing. On average, we'll call it around about $100 average, all right? So something like LinkedIn is a lot higher. Something in the area of Facebook is a little bit lower, but it depends on your industry. Some industries are a lot higher cost per client than this is. The system I want to show you tonight will cost you approximately 60 cents. These are all US dollars, by the way, just to make it, everything I'll be saying tonight is in US. It's a global market we've got into these days. But on an average, a lead that you get within Dragon Leads AI, which I'll be showing you tonight, is about 60 cents. Now you've actually got, and when you see the level of content and the level of engagement you get with the people, 60 cents is peanuts compared to what it will do for you and the amount of content you get. Rather than just you've sent them out a lead form, you've captured their name, email address, phone number, maybe a couple other details if you're lucky, if you've done your funnel right. But the reality is the sort of conversion rates that I'm getting using this system is nearly 50% of the people that come through this, go through and buy something. And so on average, my conversion rate from sending an email, which has cost me about 60 cents to send, all right, I'm getting about 1 in 3 clients. That's costing me $1.56 per client. Now, anybody running an ad, I don't know anybody here that could be actually running an ad and paying less than $2 to get a client. And that's what we're doing now. But we're not getting it in large numbers. Don't forget, all right? It's about being very targeted, very specific, and making sure you're generating the right types of leads and then nurturing them along the way. All right. Anybody got any questions regarding that? Stick your hands up, shout us out, drop into the chat. You all clear? All right. Nothing, we'll keep it going. So what you got to think of is in this area of lead generation, niche and relationship and everything you can learn about a person to have a quality conversation is really where it's about. All right. And so what you start to see is the different old-fashioned marketing techniques compared to the new-fashioned marketing techniques. Taking the time will spend less time for more benefit. And so let me give you, this is a real case scenario, and I use this particular case study. This was my own personal case study when I launched Dragon Leads AI. So I set out, I call it the dopamine type email, just a standard, you do a 6-series email, ChatGPT helps you, you try and make it really, really good. I sent out 11,500 emails. I had 0 registrations to a webinar. This is to a masterclass webinar on lead generation that I did. 11,500 emails to my normal database, 0 registrations. And out of that 11,000, I had 864. What that was telling me, number one, was maybe my lead magnet, my whole idea, the funnel might not have been good, the landing page might not have been good, etc., etc. However, the system I've just talked about is once I generated some leads either through Dragon Leads AI or used the same very simple message to come along, the significant change was. So I said I had current clients. I sent the simple message to 10 clients, 8 registered. All right. I sent 10 messages to past clients, 10 messages to close associates. I then went through network connections, and then I done cold outreach through Dragon Leads AI. And all of them were receiving high amounts of registration. And let me just say, of those registrations, I had an 85% roll-up rate on my webinar. It wasn't just a matter of getting registers, they actually turned up. Another big difference, because very, very targeted. Now, what was the message, you might ask? It's pretty simple. All right, if I can actually see this here and get it up big enough for you, I'll make that slide so we can actually see it. Hopefully you can see that there. Is that can you see that okay, guys? So I just this is exactly what I did. I was doing a masterclass and I just said, I'm rolling out a pilot initiative in a masterclass on relational marketing to support SMBs to generate more prospects than they can handle. Interested? Yes, very was the response. Okay, here's the link. And Mari, she was the one, she turned up. But that was it. I could have done the same thing in an email, exactly the same time. It is just a very, very simple email, simple text message or messenger message that I sent out, but I sent it out strategically to the right person. And the words that I use in that little text, and I'm happy to anybody who wants to do it, throw a little message in here. If you want to get a copy of, I've got 50 variations of that message. So I've got some people here saying, is it B2B and B2C? Both. Okay, it doesn't matter B2B, B2C. All right, it's both. It is simple, and I've got 50 templates that I'll give to you. All right, just all you got to do, drop it in and say, yeah, send me the 50 templates, and I'll make sure you get it. Make sure your email address is in the chat somewhere, and I'll make sure that you have a copy of that. So we're all on board so far. Keep it simple. Now, and be targeted. You must make it really simple. Long emails gone, dot points gone, etc., etc. So, excuse me. The next thing is, how do I find these right people? Now, you've already got a database of people, all right? A lot of you got databases. If you've got it in a CSV file or in a current CRM, beautiful. What you can actually do is now you can use your current database, which has got probably just a whole bunch of people you don't know. You can download that database and you can upload that into Dragon Leads AI and now completely change the way in which you communicate to everybody. So you've got that ability with inside this system as well. So let me just give you a sneak peek inside so that you know exactly what it's about. And where am I going? Excuse me. All right, let me show you inside of Dragon Leads AI. So Here it is for those people who have ever used a high-level platform before. Go high level, some people call it. There's a lot of different white labels around. You know, I know Nick is a big fan. We've got a couple other people here that are big fans of the high-level platform. I've been around the high-level platform since just after it was actually started. Magic platform, and it works seamlessly with Dragon Leads AI. All right, now Dragon Leads AI will work with other CRMs. All right, so if you've got something like Keep, there's an automatic integration, or you can use something like Zapier to be able to integrate all the other ones. So let me just give you a little bit of a rundown on the capacity of this particular application and how it works. Now, those people who have done Facebook ads before, you'll probably understand this concept quite simply. Those who haven't, that's okay. We'll give you a bit of a rundown. So currently, there's 4 different ways. We're actually coming up with a group search. In other words, Banner how to actually search with inside of a Facebook group soon. All right, but we're just at the moment, people, company, domain, and influencer. I'll just give you a bit of a rundown of what these 4 current searches do. And then I'll actually go inside and do a couple of searches to show you how fast, effective, and what sort of content you can get. People search, exactly what it is. You can go inside there. I want to search for, you know, people who are in the digital marketing space, who are located in Australia, et cetera, et cetera. And so when you do a people search, it'll come up with all the different parameters. You can get all the advanced filters. So you can now go through and find individual people, just like you would, you know, doing a Facebook ad. This is all the similar parameters you do, except this time you're actually going to actually get all their details instantly. Now, this particular search, all right, and the whole of Dragon Leads AI uses 13 different sources of data across the internet. So it's not just one, but the first search it does is generally through LinkedIn. That's its first port of call, all right, for a people search. For a company search, it's the same principle. Put in your parameters, and this search will search Google My Business as its first port of call, all right? Domain searches will just literally search the URLs around. The influencer searches will search through all the major social medias, particularly the influencer style social medias. And that's the one I want to have a bit of a peep at because it's probably one of the most powerful, right? If you want to build relationships, all right, the relationship you want to build is with the influencers of the world. Would we be right there? Is that a fairly agreed with sort of philosophy? If you're going to build a relationship, build it with somebody that's got influence, okay? Now, one such person is Justin Harold. He was on Nick's show last week, the absolute networking guru, all right? Refer Us was his platform. You couple something like that with Dragon Leads AI and you have got a massively powerful lead generation tool to be able to do referrals very well. And so in this space, you can find the right people to connect with and ask and talk about. And so you can go through and do here. So you might want, you do a location search first. How many influencers you're looking for? It might be a 10,000 person influence. And you go through and you start searching through all these. Now, I can go through all this, rather than doing that, I've saved a bit of time and I've already done a search and I end up with a list of Australian influencers who are business coaches, all right? So these are influencers that have had more than 10,000 followers, all right? So you can see the amount of followers here, 20,000, 20,000, or 19.9, close enough to 20, all right? Anything above 10,000 followers, it pulled out those main followers, those main people. Now, I've got phone numbers, I've got other, all their different social medias, I've got email addresses, et cetera, et cetera. That's good, all right? But there's a lot of places out there that you can get the same information from. There's a lot of list building places where you can get this from. What you can't get is what comes next. What you have is if you were to click on a particular person, all right, in here you go through, is this the right person? This is where it takes just a little bit of time, but the AI is doing the work in the background for you. You go, is this the right person? You can go in and have a look at it. Yes, that's the right person. And then up in the right-hand corner, you've got this little enrich button. What that now does is it totally sucks in absolutely everything it can find on that person throughout the whole of the internet. Remembering, first one is typically through the actual platform you've looked at, whether it be TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, or whatever it might be. The second search that expands that and brings in a whole bunch of data. Now, let me just show you. This one's been enriched. You come up with this little light globe beside it. Once you get that, you now have this particular person, all right? So we know who she is, Roberta Fairbanks, all right? We now know all the hashtags, all the mentions, all the social media posts. We know all the interests, brand identity, affinities. But here we now know, if this is a person we think that's good for us, we might be able to reach out to this person or find a person that they are associated with, we already know in our network, and then they can introduce us to networks like these ones, 678,000, 666,000. So you can now see that by doing one search, finding one person, can actually now set you on a trajectory to go to where you need to be. And this is exactly how I got to meet up with people like Fur Patel and stuff like that from a global AI network. It was literally, I just followed the bouncing ball. And within a couple of months, I got to the person I was looking for, and it just exploded from there. I'm now turning over multiple 7 figures, getting close on 8 figures, all right, running this system. So it works. But the key is keep it simple, keep away from your generic chat GPTs, and keep it personal, which is where I want to go next. So we already see within this, we already see all the interests and all that information, which is great. All right, cool. However, what makes the next level is our AI assistant in the middle here. So what you now have is the ability to generate a direct message, a summary, an email subject line, and generate an introduction email using all of the data that you've now collected, all that social media data, all the posts, all the people they know, et cetera, et cetera. And you can now generate that. So if I just generate a summary, all right, so to influence the summary, you can see here that it uses a credit system. All right, you buy your credits however you want to go. I've actually run out of tokens. Bugger. That's okay. I ran out of tokens in my own account. How's that? But what this will do, it will actually generate for you the full list and all the different fields that can then import into your CRM. Now, I don't know about you, but having to write an email, all right, that I then got to go back to this document and find all the AI bits and pieces and then go back over into email and then put an email together. Dragonlead's AI will actually generate the summary, but what it does, it generates it into specific custom fields. And then you write your email as a template, right? Now it is a template. You're interested in, insert customized field. And then the AI will insert that into your email and it'll fully populate your email with all the different custom fields, and then make sure that the email actually is fluent and congruent with each other, and it will then send it off for you all on autopilot. You don't have to worry about checking anything. It'll actually do it for you once you get your system set up. So now you've got AI finding the people, researching them across the internet within seconds, generating all your email headings, all the content for your email and how to contact with them, and also helps you to understand who else in their network might be a person of influence you want to actually connect with. That whole process takes somewhere between 1 and 2 minutes, and you can generate on autopilot. Once you get the system going, it takes probably a week or 2 to get the whole thing going. You get your AI generation. You've got to put in your own content, and the AI will allow you to set up your own profile. It'll suck from your personal data from your websites to be able to answer things and make sure you get the right sort of content. So, and that's an influencer. It does exactly the same thing in people. Now, if you're actually after a particular industry, you might be somebody throw out an industry. Anybody just want to drop an industry that they're looking for in here? Landscapers, great one. Okay, landscapers. All right. So when you drop in landscape, you can go into the company search and you type in there landscapers. Fairly generic. But what it will do in a company, it will then send you a list of the companies that are out there, and you can actually put into the company search the ability to say, I only want to actually reach landscaping companies that have got 5 employees or more. In other words, 5 email addresses of the same domain. Does that make sense? And then what you can do is you can pick the right person, because you might find in a people search, you might find a landscaper, but you don't know if they're the boss or not. You don't know if they're the actual person to make the decisions. This will allow you to find the landscaping companies with the right number of employees that'll fit your business. And then you can pick the right person within that company, the business development manager, or it could be the owner of the company or whatever it might be. And now you do your enrichment search on that person. And you get all their data. Now you know exactly what they're interested in, Nick said it before. Now, Nick, just jump back online there. You're saying about how Facebook is changing their algorithm, all about what the people's interests are, and and all that type of stuff, rather than anything else.
100%. So they're changing the algorithm from showing you things that your friends are posting to show you things that it thinks you're interested in. So, if you click on, what are some of those clickbaity posts there? They've got, locations around the world. So you like traveling, so you're looking at traveling posts. It will start to show you more of those things there, not paid ads. You will get the paid ads as well, but you'll just get those as posts, and you will miss out on your friends. So people are seeing you less and less, and you are seeing your friends less and less.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I started off with people saying to you, who's running ads? Okay. If you still want to run ads, just think about this for a second. Now you've got a hyper-personalized set of people, exactly your target market. You know who they are. You can now download that list and put it through a lookalike campaign. Now you have a targeted ad in a lookalike campaign system that now will weed out all those people that are going to click and unlikely to click on it. We look at the landscapers again. If you are looking for a lookalike campaign and the person you're looking for is in that sort of personality that's a business owner, rather than having to think about all the different types of titles that they can be coming up with, now you're getting the interest, you're getting all their content, and you're getting the specific person and anybody that looks like them. So when you start to do lookalike campaigns, you're now getting something that's even more hyper-personalized and making sure that it actually works quite well. So that's a bit of a look at Dragon Leads AI, how it's going to change. I hope that some of those tips, now whether you use Dragon Leads AI or not, some of the tips just make it simple has been a help. And I just want to open up for a couple of questions. I think we've still got another 20 odd minutes, haven't we, Nick?
Yeah, we do. Yep. So plenty of time for questions and answers, or possibly even to run through, a scenario that you've got for your business. So feel free to drop it into chat, or just open up your microphone, and I'll pop up your hand is probably quite good, just with that hand icon. And then, happy to bring you in. So who's got a question, comment, scenario that they'd like to ask of Kel?
Yeah, Kel, just on importing the people into like GHL or whatever it is, what's the legal aspect of that, since they haven't actually opted in?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So in the area of SMS, they're getting really clamping down on the SMS. They're clamping down on spam. Okay. So the laws around spam, etc., like that is going in cold and blanketing people. So there are a couple of grey areas, but what the difference is here is you are literally, in that first message you're sending them, you're literally sending, you're not trying to sell them straight away. You're just saying, hey, I've got something like this. Are you interested? If they say yes, guess what? They've just opted in. That's the key to the strategy. If you go out there and say, hey, do you want to buy this? I'm selling this, turn up at my website, blah, 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 you are now spamming. Spam, don't get confused between asking a question and trying to sell. Trying to sell from day one on the first message is spamming. Don't get me wrong. If you are asking a question, would this be of interest to you? That's not spam. It is actually the ability to go to a targeted group of people and making a common sense, analytical, logical question to a person. And if they don't respond, guess what? You don't do anything with it. You don't just keep on spamming them. Now you're getting out. You don't then, if they don't say anything, you don't then send them the link to your masterclass, whatever it is. The system that I use is 3 and out. All right. So in other words, what I do is I go, would you be interested in that first message I showed you on the screen? Would you be interested in something new? Number 1. Number 2, I sent you a message about this. You might be busy. Message number 3, I won't bother you again about the interest, whatever you're going to be putting in. Now, what I found was if they don't want you, the first one, they'll disconnect from you anyway. They'll D&D you. Okay, they'll unsubscribe. On the second one, I generally get crickets. On the third one is where I get 99% of my response, because people then go, I don't want to miss out, because they know that you're not going to send them anything after the third message. And it's 3 very 1 to 2 liner messages. And you're just asking the same question in a different way. And if they don't respond to that, take them out. Now I'm saying to you, like if I generate 100 leads and everything through this system, I'm getting over 97% stay. 3%, all right? 3% is the allowance. Only 3% of what I actually do in that whole process actually opt out. And typically they opt out by sending a message saying, no, thanks, not interested, rather than just hitting the unsubscribe button. You don't necessarily want that. So this, technically, it's not spam. If you do it through SMS, all right, particularly in America at the moment, and you're going through the A2P, et cetera, like that, the challenge over there, the law system over in America at the moment, and most of you would understand this, the legal profession looks at anything they can actually make a buck out of. And right at the moment, they're targeting SMS people who are sending, those sort of messages to SMS, and they're bluffing people, and they're literally, making a lot of money off people doing the wrong thing.
Well, I've got a hand up there with Jeff.
Yeah, Jeffro.
Yeah. Funny to say that, Kel. That's the
Mate, I can't hear you, Jeff.
What's happened this time? What has happened? My audio. Can you hear me now?
Very, very faintly, buddy. It sounds like your microphone's
Okay.
on the other side of the room.
Let me switch. Is that any better? The sound went down. That any better?
No?
Okay, let me try one thing. I'll switch over to a bloody headset, which
Right.
do that. Here we go. Headset. Working?
That's working beautifully now. It looks like
I hate being a bloody pilot. Anyway, what I was going to say is back up what you're saying. I've been using that system method for years, and what we do, very similar to you, I ask them a question, and I go blah, 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 yes or no. And I've told my team, if they say no, get rid of them, they're out. If they say yes, hallelujah, that's wonderful. And if they say nothing, technically that's a no also. So you know exactly where you're at, which I love.
Right.
Right. It's a numbers game.
It is a numbers game. All right. When you get into this and you send those 1 or 2 little questions, quite often, like you're not going to send a message. All right. It might be a message just to connect, guys.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So remembering that using this system, I talked about Justin Harold's Refer Us before. If you're just wanting to connect with the person and open opportunities, this is frigging gold.
Correct.
Absolute gold. Don't just think of the email and trying to get new clients. If you can actually get a partnership, and that partnership will actually lead you to new clients and get you in front of a group of 23 people or 24 people here, that's literally by building a relationship with Nick. We've built it up over a period of time. That relationship, then, I've known Nick for a while, but I've known him online. I've known his presence, but I haven't known him personally till, the last probably about 12, 18 months. Okay. So, but you can build that sort of level of relationship by knowing the details of the person. Now, I've got a question here. Can I repeat the third message again? The third message is really simple. All right. So first one, hello, are you interested? Second one, I'm just repeating my last message. Hello, are you interested? I've already sent you a message before. Third one is, sorry, I know you're busy. I don't want to disturb you. Just want to make sure that you do it. If you want to be opt in, so to speak. Otherwise, I won't disturb you again. So remembering, put your details in there. Make sure you got your email in there, and I'll send you a copy of the 50 standard messages I send. All right, happy to share that across multiple different industries. It is, and different types of, whether it's a webinar you're trying to invite them to or whatever it might be. Mike.
I'm working with a client in the luxury horse float business.
Yes.
And I looked up Equine Australia, which is the overarching body for all the equine sports other than horse racing.
Yes.
And there are 23,000 members and 1,100 officials and lots more people. But their Facebook page has 66,000 followers.
Yeah.
Your program tonight would be absolutely ideal for this.
It'll nail it. It would nail it. All right. So what you got to think of is in that equine area, and it's the same thing with any industry. Like you've got person. Wouldn't happen to be Steve, would it? The person that makes luxury floats.
No.
In Penrith. Yeah, I've got a good friend of mine who lives in Penrith and makes luxury floats. But the reality is, doesn't matter if it's in the equine or whatever it is. If you know the industry, you're looking in that respect for the influencer and or the group. Now, remembering the group search is coming. It's still a little while off yet. There's a little bit of, because we want to make sure that we're not breaching any rules of Facebook. There's nothing we do here that is, that breaches any usage rights, all right, or any policy. So when I said to you before about LinkedIn, we're not breaching any of the LinkedIn policies there. Okay. And the same thing with this. And so what you'll be able to do, Mike, equine, you can type in equine, what sort of region you're looking for. And if you look for an influencer of that group and you get an introduction to that person will then make the introduction into the groups.
The customers are generally higher wealth people. And if you ask them, they would all say that they are influencers, but they obviously aren't.
But remembering you can put in there the number of followers they have, that'll determine whether they're an influencer. Anybody above about 10,000 is an influencer. That's the level I put it at. If they've got less than 10,000 followers, forget it. They're not an influencer. They might think they are.
Are you coming to the cost of the investment for this program?
Absolutely, I am. Remembering I said to get a lead, 60 cents per person is on average, $1.56 a client. So we've got a couple of different pricing structures. There's a month to month. So in other words, you can get the application itself and then you can buy the credits as needed. That's one pricing model. All right. The other one is you buy it on a month to month basis and you get a certain amount of credits each month. Now that's the cheapest way to long term. Okay. And that is $97 a month. All right. $97 a month. And you get 250 credits per month. Okay. Now, the difference between that package and one of the other ones, that's if you want a lot of leads. In other words, every single month, you've got to pay your $97. All right. And you maintain the site and you keep on getting 250 credits given to you every month. And then on top of that, if you want to get more credits, you can buy more credits. That's not a problem. A credit, just understanding, a credit is not just one lead. It's when you do that initial search, it's typically one credit. Every time it pops up, it will tell you how many credits that particular search is about to take. So the maximum credits is 6 that it can take for a search. But let me tell you, that's definitely an influencer search. Will be something like I just showed you before. That influencer search will take you 6 credits. But I think you can agree that 6 credits, which they're 20 cents a credit on average. Okay. So in that case, $1.20, if you can't get a lead and a client out of that within that format, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people you'd be connected with, or everything's in US dollars. Okay. Everything's in US dollars. So that's the first model. But what I want to throw out here tonight is something that I haven't done it before. We are only new on the platform, and that is I want to give you a lifetime deal. All right, a lifetime offer. In other words, you can keep the platform. We'll give you some credits, all right, to get you started. You can get some more long term. Now that pricing model is $247 as normally, but I've got a coupon here for you to be able to get that for half price as a part of this tonight. Okay, so you can jump in there and get it at half price. That's going to be $120 odd US. It'll give you 250 credits, which is pretty much the full amount of the cost of what I'm showing you. And that will then give you access to the site and all the information and all the different things for lifetime. You'll never get turned off. The alternative is you can buy a cheaper package and just dibble and dabble with it. That's a $9.90 per month just to keep the system, and you get as many credits as you need. But the by far the best value, all right, the link, you want the link, there it is. So it's got my details in there. If you want a personalized demonstration of how this will work for you, all right, I am more than happy to have a time in there. I've got my demo link in there to book a demo and go into it a little bit further for you. But if you go on to the website, all right, I want to say this to you very clearly. It's got Dragon Leads AI / what is it called? Lifetime access. If you just go backwards and get rid of the lifetime access, all right, you'll see the whole site. And I'll just show you what that looks like, because when we talk about AI, this will take you next level. What we have developed within Dragon Leads AI, all right, is not just the lead generation tool. Now, this is too much for tonight, but I wanted to say to you, this is how we operate within Dragon Leads AI. So yes, I do the webinars for it, but this site is available that you can share this link, and it's got a full system in here that has 4 bots working simultaneously. You do your lead generation, all right, or I do my lead generation. And then once a person goes onto this site, everything on this site is AI generated. So in other words, you can ask a question in this site, it'll answer you using AI. If you want to book a conversation, all right, request a call back, you'll get a voice AI. Once you go into the system and you register and you buy the system, you'll get followed up and supported, and you'll get phone calls saying, hey, how can I help you, from our AI bot. All I'm saying to you is I've shown you one bot, and that's what I'm selling and showing you tonight as the option. There is a 4-bot system, which is a bigger system, obviously a little bit more expensive as well. But if you want to take it to that level and have a system that's 100% generating you leads on autopilot, and then following up and doing all the work for you in the background, you know, somebody who's running a high level or something like that, this would be an absolute dream for you. It's the 4-bot system is actually a significant game changer. All right, if you've got that sort of business that's repetitive and doing the same thing. Mike, yes.
That's amazingly economic. Thank you very much, Kel. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you cannot. It's as far as price is concerned, lead generation never got cheaper, and I don't see it ever getting cheaper and simpler.
Any other questions coming at the moment? Yes, all those prices are in US dollars. Sorry, Mike.
Yep. Sorry, what's the difference in the 4-bot system price-wise, Cal?
Mate, the 4-bot system, add a couple of zeros, like another 3 zeros.
Yeah, okay.
Nick, you said before about that video program, condensing it to an article. Can you put somebody else's video in there and use the article?
You can. So it is, you just grab the link from YouTube, put the YouTube link in, and it will do any YouTube video. So it might be a good research tool as well too. If you're wanting to create content based on 2 or 3 videos, and you're wanting to create your own article, or at least just get an outline for it, really good tool for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did try today uploading a video directly to it. It says it will take a video, so you can upload it to ChatGPT and use Video Summarizer, but it takes a very, very, very long time. So if you were going to do that, what you're better off doing is uploading it to YouTube, just set it to unlisted, and then put that link into Video Summarizer, run through your summary or getting your article out of it. And then if you don't want it on YouTube, you can just delete it from YouTube. All right, any other questions or comments of Kel while he's here? Colin.
Yeah, I have another product that I sell. The market is the USA and Canada. And I think it's about 27% of the US population. How do you use yours with such a wide spectrum of potential customers?
No problem. It's all about the area. So literally what you can do, and time doesn't allow me, but when I actually type in the location, you can type it in by state or by region or by postcode, and a map will pop up, and then you can pin the map and say search here and a 50-kilometer radius.
Okay.
Or you can search by country, you can search by the globe. So it's always best, obviously, if something's going on, there's a whole bunch of strategy you can come into here. I'm not a Trump lover or hater. I'm not going to get into politics. But what you can do is use an event that's happening, all right, and then you target that particular area because it leads into what you're selling. So if you're selling something to save economics or saving export or something like that, you might have heard Trump say about this, all right, I've got something that this might help you. You're not saying good or bad. Are you interested? That's that text message. So be relevant to the news, what's going on and then you target, using the lead generation tool, you target the area that you want to reach that message will actually be perfect for.
Okay. So I could use that if I pick the state, say I pick Florida, and I want a particular type of retailer. So I just, rather than the general public, if I targeted the retailers, it would be able to give me the retailers that sell that product in Florida.
Right.
And then I can send them your 3 emails. Okay, thank you.
It's a matter of there's just a bit of strategy involved, and I'm happy. By the way, just as a last thing, I'm sorry I'm going a bit overtime here. A part of what we're doing here is not just going, hey, here's Dragon Leads AI, hope for the best for you. We run twice a month. We run a workshop on how to do that and how to do quality lead generations. All right. Using the tool. It's not about doing all lead generations, and it's not taking away anything that Nick does. It is just saying, how do you do this? How do you use this tool to lead generate and do the best searches and do the lead generation using that?
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, I think that's probably.
I just got one more question. Sorry, mate.
Except for
Cal, with the lifetime deal, is the 500 credits every month, or it's just one-off?
Nah, it's a once-off deal. Yeah, you get 500 credits. You get 500 credits with the deal, and it stays on for life. And if you want more credits, you just buy the credits as you need it at 20 cents.
All right, thanks, guys.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks, Kel, for a fascinating presentation. I can see people there taking notes and eyes open with it and seeing the possibilities with all this as well too. And yeah, incredible deal that you've got there as well too. So thank you for offering that for our session here tonight. Probably a good time to save the chat, everyone, so that you've got those links there. So if you do want to jump onto it, you've got it. Plus you've also got the Call Online tools in there. To save the chat, open it up. There are 3 dots on the right-hand side up on the top. Click on that, save the chat. It'll give you the link where you saved it. So just click on that immediately and it'll open up the document so you don't have to hunt for it in your computer. But let's give a big round of applause to Kel for sharing all of this tonight. But that's not all, folks. Remember, I did say there was a door prize as well too. And that is kindly offered by Kel tonight. So Kel, what's the door prize for tonight?
Well, I can't not be as generous as possible. So it is the lifetime offer that I've actually mentioned before. Somebody will actually get it absolutely free tonight.
Fantastic. Anyone want that? I see fingers pointing at themselves. Excellent.
I can see a wheel with that. Are we going to see this wheel that says Nick?
Yeah, that's it. Well, we do have that wheel of names. So let's bring it up and we've got everybody's name and not just my name. We'll spin that and see how lucky winner is. All right, there we go. So you see all your names in it. Remember, you have to be in the room to win it. So if you disappear, we just redraw it again. So lucky winner tonight, Anthony Tupper. Are you still here, Anthony?
Yes, I am.
Fabulous, mate. You are the lucky winner of Dragon Leads tonight. How good is that for your business?
Oh, yeah, it's got to do something for it.
Fantastic. So what we'll do, we'll hook you up with Cal tomorrow. We'll shoot you through an email both ways, connect you there, and then you can organise that directly with Cal.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Excellent. All right. Well, that is our session for tonight. So thanks again, Cal. Actually, for those that enjoyed tonight's session, Cal is coming back in a few weeks' time. He's got another session with another tool as well too, which you'll definitely want to come and watch. It's all around payments. But we'll give an announcement for that closer to the time. Do save the chat as well too. If you want to watch this again, or you know someone else that would be interested in watching this, it will be up on the Smash Go YouTube channel by tomorrow afternoon. If you're not a subscriber there, the link is in chat. So just go along to click on the link to YouTube, go and click subscribe. If you click on the bell that appears when you subscribe, then you'll get a notification as soon as that episode has been uploaded. And of course, all the past episodes are up there as well too. Our Facebook group, if you're not a member of Business Owners Smashing It Online, the link for that is in the chat as well too. So click on that and just click the join button for Business Owners Smashing It Online. And of course, you'll see all the other apps and tools in there as well too. So once again, thanks, Kel, for coming along tonight. Appreciate you sharing all of that tonight. And thanks everyone for showing up, and look forward to seeing you all again next week for another session that we've got next week. Same time, same place, same link. See you then. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast. You can also find me on social media and online. Just search for Business Owners Smashing It Online and Nick Cree, spelled Nickcree, all one word. If you like this and want to hear more, subscribe now. Until next time, don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you.